Coming up on today's show, we highlight how softball became the first team in school history to make it past round 1 of playoffs.
Choice Murphy sat down with a member of the track and field team to see how he is preparing to pole vault to state.
From competing about who gets the remote to competing on the mat, Braden Bedford gets an insight on two siblings who went to state together. This and more on this edition of Season Pass. Good afternoon, Blue Hawk Athletic fans. I'm Juan Duron.
And I'm Fuxa, and this is your Season Pass to all Rock Hill sports.
Now, last night marked the first round of the NFL draft, and Connor, I need to know, who do you think were the biggest losers and winners of the draft?
I think the biggest losers of the draft had to be the Jags and the Raiders. Although the Jags did pick up Trevor Lawrence with the first overall pick, which was an amazing pick, they had a lot of positions they needed to fill with that 25th overall pick. It could have been defense, wide receivers, or O-line. Well, they already had a solid running back, but they ended up picking Travis Etienne, running back from Clemson. I don't really understand that pick. And also the Raiders, who ended up picking Alex Leatherwood at 17 instead of, while Christian Darrisaw was still on the board, who fell to 23. They really needed a good O-lineman, and I think Darrisaw was the better pick. Now, who do you think was the best, the winners of the draft from last night?
I think the winner was definitely the Dolphins. Drafting Jalen Waddle, giving Tua that weapon was an amazing pick. And same with Jalen Phillips, giving them that linebacker core they really need. Also helped out a lot. But I think the biggest winner was definitely the Chicago Bears. Picking up Justin Fields was probably their best move because personally, I don't think Andy Dalton is quarterback one material, especially after the Cowboys last season. Now, NFL athletes were signing their contracts, and we had a couple athletes sign contracts as well. Yesterday morning, we had multiple athletes sign at different schools. For cross country and track, Rebecca Betanzo signed to the University of Texas at Dallas. Kirsten Tao and Alexis Swoboda both signed to Appalachian State University. And Colton Van Horst signed to A&M Commerce. On the wrestling side, Xavier Rogers signed to Oregon State University, and Allison Simmons signed to Hastings College.
Now, baseball played against Princeton on Tuesday and won their game 6-5. The player of the game was Tyler Powers, who went 3 for 3 and had 1 RBI and 1 run scored. They played tonight against Lovejoy in a potential 2-game series in a fight for second place in the district. The game has been moved to 7 o'clock because of senior activities at 6. On Wednesday, the softball team played the first playoff game in a best-of-3 series. The first game was close, with Rock Hill winning with a final score of 7-4 after being up until the 5th inning. The second game was like night and day compared to the first game. The Blue Hawks started off strong and were up 8-0 at the end of the 4th. After some back-and-forth action, the final score was 12-3, with the Blue Hawks taking the first win and being the first team to make it past the first round of the playoffs.
Jolie Mallon was a key contributor to the Blue Hawks' success last night. Madison Wells caught up with her in today's big game interview.
Thank you, Juan. I'm here with Jolie Mallon, and she's up for DFW Softball Player of the Week, so we're just going to ask her a couple questions. So, Jolie, what changed from Thursday's game where you were down for the first 4 innings to yesterday, like a complete blowout?
We had a plan the first day and just needed to execute it and do the little things right. And so we executed that plan, but then the second day we made adjustments from the first game and looked at what we needed to do better and what we lacked in the first time, and just saw where we could get better and made sure that we did those things, and we did, and then we just hit better and took advantage of their little mistakes and just had a lot better of a game.
Yeah, definitely. So what's it like being the first ever team to make it past the first round of playoffs?
It's really cool, and it's just cool to see all the other teams and coaches and the whole staff coming out to support us, to see us get that success and see us be part of that history, and it's just really cool to be a part of history.
Yeah, it is. So, and finally, what's it like being the second player on the softball team to get nominated for DFW Softball Player of the Week?
It's really cool, and it's cool to put our name as a program out there, and it shows that we work hard as a program, and to have more than one person be nominated for that is just really cool, and it's cool to represent our team.
It is, and congratulations on being nominated. Back to you, Juan.
Don't forget to vote for Jolie to help her become the Dallas-Fort Worth Area High School Softball Player of the Week by clicking the link in Mr. Toth's email to vote. Qualifying for state within the pole vaulting event, Choice Murphy sat down with Gavin Hankey to see how he is preparing for his big day.
Being a first-year school, many teams sought to put their name on the map. Junior Gavin Hankey has done just that by qualifying for state in pole vaulting.
When I found out I was going to state, it was pretty cool. Especially since I didn't get to go last year because of everything that happened around the world. I mainly got into pole vault because at the time I was just doing high jump and I really just wanted a second event. I started pole vaulting during 7th grade and I picked it up about 2 weeks before the district meet, and I ended up winning that district meet.
Although he has already claimed his spot for state, Gavin continues to perfect his craft.
I generally train like actual pole vaulting around 3 times a week for 2 hours, and generally I just go through the motions.
Although pole vaulting is an individual event, Gavin continues to grow with his team.
Leading up to state, there's different phases of the track season. When we get to the phase of where we're going to state, it's really a maintenance and really specialized in working on technique and fundamentals and things like that. The conditioning is going to be what it is, but it's mainly working on fine-tuning the techniques. Not only first-year team, first-year school, you're starting tradition, so I want them to have fun and have friendship, going beyond this. I want them to learn how to be competitive. I want them to learn how to fight through adversity, because track practice, you get thrown into a lot of adversity. So just growth, but ultimately I want them to have fun.
For Season Pass, I'm Troyce Murphy.
Good luck to Gavin and the rest of the track team that will be competing next weekend at their state meet. Xavier and Eleanor Jukes recently just went to state together. Braden Bedford reports on what it is like for the two siblings to go to state together as teammates and as siblings.
Sibling rivalry is real on and off the mat for Xavier and Eleanor Jukes. They fight over who gets the mat first or just who did better in a match. But they did cheer on each other since both punched a ticket to the state wrestling tournament.
State was a little nerve-wracking for me. It was first time really competing at a UIL big tournament like that. It's for first year program, it was quite amazing. I wasn't really expecting to have a season this year. I was really excited, and going to state as a first year really just sets the bar.
Setting the bar for the upcoming seasons isn't the only thing Xavier wants to set it for. He also wants to set the bar for his sister Eleanor, who's been wrestling with Xavier for 9 years, who also went to state with him.
It was expected. It's just a little competition between us. I've always seen it as if I make it, she better make it, or I get to brag about it, and just a little sibling rivalry.
While Xavier sees wrestling with his sister as a sibling rivalry, Eleanor sees it as a stepping stone for the upcoming seasons next year in order to accomplish the things they couldn't in the past season.
It wasn't any different than normal. We kind of expected it. For as long as I can remember, it's always been me and Xavier going here, there, and everywhere. And so going to state just felt like average. And then knowing that we got there just blew my mind.
While neither Xavier or Eleanor place in state, Eleanor still feels like the experience was the most important learning curve for the future.
I feel like the most important part was just experiencing the hard matches and taking those losses and being able to accept them and be able to work on them next year.
Even though the siblings didn't place at state, they were still able to learn from each other's mistakes and improve themselves. Although they still argue at home, they are still each other's biggest cheerleaders on the mat. For HTN Season Pass, I'm Braden Bedford.
That's all we have going on in the world of Rock Hill sports, but let's find out what's going on around campus. Grant?
Thank you, Juan, and we've really got a lot to go over before we let you all go for this weekend, so let's get you all up to date. You may have seen some posters along the halls campaigning for different student council positions, and that's because today's election day. The ballot is open from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., and you can vote now on rockhill.votingforschools.com to select your class officers for next year. Next Wednesday, May 5th, the Biology and U.S. History STAR tests, along with the AP English Literature, AP Physics, and AP Japanese exams will be conducted on campus. Students taking these exams will receive instructions for when and where to report to the school in the coming days. For students who are not testing, they'll have an asynchronous day on Wednesday. Here's Assistant Principal Miss Melissa Weiss with what that means for students.
May the 5th is going to be an asynchronous day for our 10th graders and our 12th graders because testing is going on for both juniors and freshmen. So there are some people that are going to be doing AP testing on May the 5th. Those people would come to test in person for their AP test, but for all students not testing in grades 10 and 12, they will learn asynchronously. There will be a form that's sent out for attendance purposes, but they will not be required to attend school in person on that day.
Juniors and seniors' big night under the stars is tomorrow. So here's a quick reminder that it will be $10 to self-park at the Renaissance Hotel and $17 to valet park at prom. Also tomorrow, there will be an arts and craft fair hosted here at Rock Hill from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. There will be pottery painting, sidewalk chalk for kids, and even a petting zoo. Tickets are $15 at entry. First jobs help students gain independence, but for students with disabilities, it can be more difficult. I took a visit to a mobile coffee unit who's brewing up opportunities for all.
Coffee served out of a teal vintage trailer isn't the only thing that makes Coffee and Crumbs truly special. It's the people who work there, brewing sweetness not just on the menu.
What can I get for you?
Coffee and Crumbs is a coffee shop on wheels that employs high school and college students with disabilities, founded by Dana Leach in 2017.
You know, I kind of think that we all have a disability. Some of us just have a label for ours and some of us don't. And so at the same time, we hire people who don't have a categorized disability so that they can also see what inclusive employment looks like.
Statistics show that individuals with disabilities who have 2 jobs before they're 21 will be employed more gainfully as adults than those who do not. So Dana and her company sought to provide an opportunity for those who might not normally find it. An opportunity for someone like Braden Alexander, a freshman who found his first job in the trailer.
It helps me a lot. I'm more helpful in the trailer. It's a lot of fun. I make a lot of money.
A job along with the money. He finds people who support him and equip him with the skills he needs to be successful in a job in his adult life.
It's really fun being nice to them when they come in and stuff.
I think every high school and college student should have that chance. We all are better together. The more time we spend together, the better we understand each other, the more we realize that we're all really just the same, you know, and we really are better together, and we want to give everybody the chance to experience that.
Coffee and Crumbs can be found parked at Local Yokel in downtown McKinney, and they also make special appearances at events across North Texas. You can follow them on social media at coffee.in.crumbs to see where they're parking the trailer. Well, that's all of today's news, and that's going to do it for today's show, actually. And sadly, this is the last live show produced by HTN for the school year. Thank you all to the team that made over 100 live episodes of the show happen every single day. We'll see you all in May for our senior show, where the HTN class of 2021 will say their goodbyes. Until then, best of luck to everyone on their tests in the coming weeks, and we'll see you soon for the senior show. For HTN Season Pass, I'm Grant Johnson.
I'm Connor Fuxa.
And I'm Juan Duron. Mask up and rock on.